100 million barrels of oil, and now they have another 100 million barrels coming. And it's like a partnership. We're getting along so well with them. It's great for Venezuela, and it's great for the United States. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. President. You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
You said earlier that we've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. What do you consider enough? What's your baseline?
Where they're not going to be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon. Where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content. Change the way you record podcasts, voiceovers, and branded content with the #1 AI-powered voice generating technology. Stop searching for the perfect voice and
BB and Jack Frost. The president is currently in a, I guess, meeting or whatever. So what we're going to do is we are going to listen to, we let you see where it's coming from. We're going to listen in, and then I'm going to come back with some commentary. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm making some coffees.
UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
Mr. President, are there any points of disagreement between yourself and your vice president when it comes to U.S. action in Iran?
I don't think so, no. No, we get along very well on this. He was, I would say, philosophically a little bit different than me. I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete, and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back.
Sir, you said you're considering seizing the Strait of Hormuz. Is there a timeline for that?
About the Strait, you mean? Yeah, well, I want to keep it open. I want to keep it good. You know, it doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries because they get a lot of their energy from the Straits. But, hey, look, we have a good relationship with China. It's my honor to do it. Yeah.
Supreme Leader, you have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does because that would be inappropriate. But, hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first. But they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know, but people don't like to mention that. But they did catch him. And I'd like to congratulate our military secret.
For those that don't understand what he's implying, if y'all seen the other I think he spoke about this previously. And he was like, I got them before they got me. So basically, the people who were sending the, individuals that were trying to unalive the president allegedly was working with Iran. And I'm sorry, at this point, we have to assume that the Democratic Party, we don't have to assume anything. At this point, it wouldn't be outside of reason to believe that the Democratic Party is working with Iran to, in any capacity, but specifically to unalive Trump. It wouldn't be beyond the scope of reason.
Good service.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflict, it's been a very big 2 days, I have to say. And we'll be heading back to Washington, D.C. right after this. And I'd like to wish everyone a very good evening. And over the weekend, the United States military and the Israeli Defense Forces continued Operation Epic Fury very successfully. Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world
Yo,
has
did this
ever
just
seen.
start back over from the beginning, right
You
when he
add
was
that
about to
up
answer?
to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from.
Did that just start back over from the beginning? Like, I hope that's not what happened, because if it is, then we just gonna get our show going. But I want to point something out. Give me 1 minute, and I want to point something out, because this is how demented the left is. Demented. These people are demented. Let's see.
Force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom.
And remember, the liberals are still over here like, Iran is Trump. America can't F with Iran. Why do the liberals think everyone else's army is better than our army?
Bottom of the meant to fight against us. We continue to target Iran's drone and missile capabilities. Their drones are way down. Their drone manufacturing's been hit starting today. We know all of the places they manufacture the drones, and they're being hit one after another. Their missile capability is down to about 10%, maybe less. We're also hit.
All right, I'm going to show y'all something right now. This is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to explain something. So, this is why the left, in my opinion, are just sick people who don't live in reality. I'm going to show you a couple of comments real quick. So, the one right here that says, Barron's too tall for the military. I need for y'all to understand this. And when I say y'all, I mean liberals. Okay, so we're not in an era where a draft is necessary. We have more than enough troops. There is no the draft is not necessary. The reason why a draft happens is because we go to war and there's not enough troops. In America, we don't have that problem. We don't have that problem. So every time a liberal say, well, you should go send your sons to war. Yeah, the conservatives have already sent their kids to war. That's who's in the military. We have the largest military on the planet. Why would we need to have a draft? Answer that for me. I would like to know. But there's something wrong with liberals. They're living in like 1940. You understand? They're not even living in this era. They don't know about anything that's current. Anytime you talk to a liberal about anything at all that deal with America, they're talking about shit from the 50s, the 60s, or the 1800s, or the 1700s, or the back in the day. And if you say, well, it's not like that now, they're going to say, oh, but they're trying to take us back. No one is trying to take us back. Trump gets elected. We have the liberals saying that he's going to have concentration camps for LGBTQ people. What the hell are you talking about? There's been no concentration camps in neither one of his campaigns and neither one of his administrations. This is not a thing that's ever happened. Oh, women are going to lose the right to vote. No, women haven't. That hasn't even been a question whether women could. That's not even a topic. So what the liberals do is they just make up random reasons to be fearful. They do everything against God. That's all I can say, fam. Let's get back to what he's talking about.
Hitting where they may be damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff, who is standing right over here, they said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't do that with Midnight Hammer, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated.
Why is Trump a bozo? Put it in the comment section, Michael.
We had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots.
Stand on what you're talking about. I'm not going to ban you. All you got to do is don't say nothing crazy to me. Just have an actual point, please.
Better version.
Even if you don't have a point, just you don't have to say nothing crazy to me. Just whatever your position is, put it in the chat.
The greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear, we want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever.
I wanted to stop right here with the unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for a good point. I want to make a point right now. Iran, unquestionably, is the nation that has been funding terrorism for 50 years, at least 47 years. That's how long they've been in power, right? 47 years, right? So they've been funding terrorism for 47 years. This is not a question. This is fact. They're pretty open about it. We just don't hear about it more in America, but everywhere else in the world, they're pretty open about it. Now imagine the Democratic Party being against our president, preventing them from getting a nuclear weapon. The Democratic Party is against extremist terrorists being prohibited from getting nuclear weapons. Do y'all understand this? The Democrats want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And for the people that say, no, they don't, well, Trump is trying to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. And the Democrats is trying to stop Trump from preventing them from getting a nuclear weapon. So whatever you call that.
For other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching the point of
Hold on, we're going to stop everything.
Intolerable,
Let's stop Wait, hold on. What the hell was that? Why did that
Steve
happen?
And Jared
I didn't even know I could do that.
Pete
All right, we're going to stop everything. We're going to stop every single thing. You brought up something in the Bible, right? You wanted to go towards the Bible, right, fam? That's what we're doing? Let's stop everything for one moment. For one moment, let me just make sure this is running because it's for one moment, let's stop everything. You wanted to bring up the Bible. I want to bring up the Bible too. Let's bring up the Bible. Right? Hold on. What did God tell Saul to do after he sent Saul into war? against the Philistines. So hold on. Because I'm going to show you the thing, right? But what's going to happen is, we got to smell Philistines. Hold on. But what's going to happen is, after I actually show you the proof, show you the thing, you're still going to go against it. I get it. But now, when you go against it, now you're going against the word of God. Before, you just didn't have the information. But once I give you the information, that you can then go look for it yourself, and now you are with understanding of the thing. Now when you go against it, you are going directly against God. Now when you say, oh, I'm just trying to, no, none of that matters. You're going directly against God. Thank you for bringing up the Bible, and whatever you want to deal with is whatever you want to deal with. So after Saul was appointed king and faced the Philistines, God through the prophet Samuel instructed Saul to wait 7 days at Gilgal for Samuel to arrive to offer sacrifices, and provides further instructions before battle. God sent Saul to fight. God told Saul to wage a war on the Philistines. What are you talking about? Where in the Bible does it say God is against war? Now, I can even go way deeper into this, but the deeper I go into this, the more you're going to be on the hook for not knowing what the hell you're talking about and going against God. So I'm just going to give you the overall, and as you then try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you more information, which is only going to make you blaspheme more. So I'm going to stop here because I don't really want you to blaspheme. But look, God sent Saul to fight the Philistines. So hold on. What war did God send David, King David, to fight? Just so we can be clear that God is not against war. God primarily sent King David to fight the Philistines. So you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. 100%. You're not almost wrong. You're not close. You're 100% wrong. Hold on. Just so we can be clear, I'll read it even a little bit more, just so we can be sure. God primarily sent David to fight the Philistines. So God sent David to go fight other people also, not just the Philistines. So hold on. While you're over here trying to make an argument that Trump isn't godly because Trump's in a war for Christians. Literally, Trump is in a war against people who have been killing God's people. God primarily sent King David to fight the Philistines, who are the major reoccurring enemy of Israel during his reign. David's victories were seen as divine empowerment, starting with his youth battle against Goliath and extending to securing Israel's borders against the Philistines, the Moabites, and the Arameans. So you are wrong. You're 100% wrong. Don't have all the Bible questions y'all want to have, just so we can be clear. But don't come in here with any kind of words against God. We're not talking down on God. We're not talking against God's word. We're doing zero of those things. If you bring up God and you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to give you whiplash, fam. Because that's what happens when you're moving and then you stop. You're moving and then you stop. The hell? Where in the hell does it say in the Bible God is against war? Hold on. Hold on. Where's my screen at? Let's just ask. In the Bible, does it say that God is against war? Just ask a simple question. The Bible does not offer any simple yes or no on the matter that of whether God is against war. So why would you even come up with this? Who lied to you? And why are you spreading that lie? Who lied to you? And why are you spreading that lie? While God is described as a God of peace, Romans 15:33, he's a God of peace. He's also called a man of war, Exodus 15:3, who authorized specific conflicts in the Old Testament. Generally, the Bible portrays war as a consequence of human sin. So you want humans to be able to sin with no consequence? It sounds to me like people that have this mindset don't love God. Don't bring God into this, fam. You're gonna look bad, and I'm also gonna point out how what you're doing goes against God. So therefore, you're also gonna be going against God and saying things that is gonna hurt your eternal spirit. So do what you want.
So involved.
On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to...
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are 2 levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But 2 levels of leadership are gone. Most people...
I just literally showed him the verses from the Bible. I showed him where to go get the verses. I showed him where the verses are in the Bible. And he's still arguing. Do you understand that there's something wrong with these people? Because right now, you're displaying mental illness. Because I showed you the thing. I didn't say the thing. I showed you where to find it. Right? Just so we could be clear. Hold on. I showed you where to find it. I didn't just say a thing. I literally showed you where to find it at, right? I showed you where to find it. Right here. Just so we could be clear. In Exodus 15:3, he authorized specific conflicts. I showed you. Right here, pardon me, he's also described as a man of war. I showed you. So, I'm not going to kick you. I'm going to allow for you to separate yourself from God. No, keep separating yourself from God. Go ahead. Keep on. I think you should stop, but I'm not going to stop you. I think you should stop, but I'm not going to stop you. You are more than
American
welcome
vote, which I got
to separate yourself
levels.
from God. I don't think you should do that, though.
Very important.
Just so we
people
can be
are very
clear.
important to me. I know what they went through. They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban American business people.
You got some more sacrilegious things to say?
In the country, and a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro regime was brutal. But they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off
It's
Venezuela.
great to see you, fam. I just hope you find
energy, no
Jesus
fuel,
so
no
you don't
oil,
come
no
out
money,
here and
no
say these
nothing.
things and
They
separate
lived
yourself
without
from God.
Venezuela, they couldn't have made it, and we cut
I
them
have
off
no
from
beef with you, just so we can be
everything else.
clear.
So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
There's footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility
Well, I
for
haven't
that strike?
seen it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic, it's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar. They have no telecommunications. and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further. But the big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. These were ships. These were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off the ships. They refuse to get on the ship.
Do you understand what Trump just did? I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger while I talk. Do you understand what Trump just did? I don't think people understand what Trump just did. So, first of all, they had ships. Other people got better ships. China has better ships. Russia has better ships. We're not going to act like they don't. I think that, you know who else's army is actually stronger and better also? Saudi Arabia, I believe, also has, like, some stuff going on with them. Like, they're not playing. And these Saudi Arabia, ally of America. So I want to be clear of something. Or ally of Trump. I want to be clear of something. And this is the part that I think we need to be a little bit more open-minded about, or a little bit more understanding about. The U.S. military is blowing up their ships. Do you know how many people die every time one of them big ships get blown up? Hundreds of people. They probably got 100 people that run that ship. And just in order for the ship to be able to function and move throughout the area, you probably got to have like 50 or 60 people or some shit. They're blowing these ships up. They can't just go to the store and get a new ship. So other nations that might want to beef with America, they're like, oh shit, America has stuff right now that they're just blowing ships out the water. If they blow up our ships, how many years it's going to take us to even make, you know how many years it probably takes to make one of those ships? Like, this isn't something that you could just go get from the Best Buy. You understand what I'm saying? So other militaries, it's just not worth it. This is a deterrent. They're busy telling China, they're busy telling Russia, you do not want to find out, fam. We don't really even got beef with y'all. Our beef with y'all don't need to be physical. That's the point. Our beef with y'all don't need to be physical. This could still just be a conversation. We're not at that point yet. But when we get to that point, it's going to be a problem. So imagine going into war with someone and the main thought of your head is survival. It isn't even winning. It's how are we going to survive? This is a deterrent. When Trump went over there and he's doing what he's doing over there, that's going to make every other war that the Americans fight so much easier. Why do you think nobody's going over there to help Cuba? Because when Trump pulled up into Venezuela, they did some shit that had the Venezuelan people, the military, like, yo, they hit us with this thing and made us all throw up and start defecating. We couldn't even control our bowels. How could you fight and you busy throwing up and crapping at the same time? How can you fight? This is what we want. We want this. The liberals that have told you that we don't want this, they are tricking you. This is what we want. Yeah, your drugs is gonna, the price of your drugs is gonna go up. It's gonna go up. But after all of this is over, you know how, and this is the thing that you gotta pay attention to. All of y'all weed smokers, after all of this is over, you know what's gonna happen to the price of weed? It's gonna plummet. It's gonna absolutely plummet. I promise you. Because smart weed smokers is gonna start doing what every single weed smoker in New York should be doing if you smoke weed in New York and you have the room, and that's growing your own little plant. Now, this is not me encouraging weed smoke. This is me saying something. Pay attention. This is about drugs, and this is about trafficking. And this is about destroying what the Democrats have created to keep money flowing to them that keeps them in power. And a lot of the things that they created in order to keep the money flowing, to keep them in power, is by allowing drugs from other countries to come into our country. Then those drugs get mixed up with the drugs over here that we have as legal drugs, like with the alcohol, with the, weed has been decriminalized, with the weed, with the cigarettes. They mix all of this with all of the legal stuff that we have going on over here. And that's how you have all of this mental health in your neighborhood. That's how all of this mental health is going on in your neighborhood. We got kids out here that the stores, they don't care. These people out here selling weed to your kids, they don't care. They mix the fentanyl in there, they give that to your kid. Now you wonder why your kid acting and looking weird. This isn't the weed from the 70s. This isn't the weed from the 60s. All of this shit is tampered with. Everything you buy damn near is tampered with. And not with the person you getting it from. Maybe him too, but it's tampered with before they even get it. This is saving America. I promise you. And the reason why I'm saying this and speaking specifically about the weed thing is this is for the explicit purpose of a lot of y'all are like against Trump, but if Trump wins, your kids is about to get saved. Your grandkids about to get saved. Because they're not going to have to deal with some of the problems that we have right now. They're not going to have to deal with it. I remember, and I can't stress this enough. I remember in the 80s buying a bag of weed. I smoked weed. Buying a bag of weed. Not the 80s, the 90s. Buying a bag of weed. Smoking it with my friends. One blunt. And all of us are high. It'll be 4 or 5 of us. One blunt. Take 2 or 3 pulls and you pass it. That's not what's going on now. Because they've done tampered with the drugs for so many years that normal weed don't do nothing for nobody. You understand? This is important for the health of America. Why do you think they want to impeach RFK? Because RFK isn't attacking this aspect of our health, but RFK is attacking the other aspect of our health. And before somebody says, why don't they want us to be healthy? Who is the biggest contributor to the political spectrum of donations and all that? Big Pharma. They need you to be sick. If not physically, mentally. Hell, they want you to be both. It don't make sense that you could buy a McDonald's cheeseburger, leave it out for 3 years, and it probably looks the same as the day you bought it. How? Now, we all know there's something wrong with the food. But the minute somebody shows up to try to fix it, y'all call them crazy. The reason why I mentioned the weed thing specifically is because I see it out here in the street. That these kids is going to places and buying stuff that ain't weed and they think it's weed. I don't want to talk about it. All right, I'm going to get emotional. I don't want to talk about it. It just pisses me off. Anyway, I'll read some comments real quick. It's called a discombobulator. It says a supersonic weapon. It's like a microwave that impacts the body and causes it to heat up internally. Fam, we're not losing any wars right now. We have enough information to know not to eat it though. Fam, Jabri Wilson, it was in here the other day. We didn't necessarily agree on nothing. But yes, we know that there's something wrong with the food. Why in the hell are y'all trying to stop RFK from fixing the problem? I don't get it. I don't understand why the liberals is okay with Iran having a nuke. I don't get it. If I take them at their word that they love America, then why are they closing? Why are they trying to not fund DHS? And then talking about there's sleeper cells in America. Yeah, there's sleeper cells in America. Probably hundreds of them, probably thousands of them. Biden let them in. You guys let them in. I'm going to tell you why I'm not a part of the Democratic Party. And why I will never vote Democrat again as long as I live. Like, unless Jesus Christ came down himself and said the party has changed and now they're good. You're about to ask me a question that's a provoking question, and I promise you I'm going to kick you. Play with me if you want, fam. You're going to ask me a provoking question. And God doesn't want us dealing with provoking entities. So go ahead, provoke me. I'm not going to answer the question. I'm just going to kick you and keep it pushing. Hold on. Let me put your thing up on the screen so people don't think I'm talking to myself. This dude said he want to ask me a question. Yeah, no, ask the question. Because after I kick you, it's not going to be up there. So I don't want people to think I was talking to myself. Yeah, right here. Jabri Wilson. Yeah, ask him the question. I got to start remembering to put people's comments up there before I kick them. Because I'll kick you and then you're going to go tell people I was talking to myself, right? And nobody was in there saying anything, or I wrote some stupid ass freaking lie and some idiot is going to believe it. And then I'm going to have to deal with that. So ask the question. No, ask the provoking question. So I want to be clear about something. Every single thing that the Democrats are currently doing is going against America. We don't need to listen to this no more anyway. We made a couple of points. I got a couple of things I want to talk about, so we're going to drop this. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm calm, fam. I'm just telling you what I believe is about to happen, because I know how people give it up. You're going to come in here and try to ask me a provoking question to try to provoke me. And instead of me getting upset and angry, I'm 100% going to kick you. Ask the question. I don't care how long anybody's been following me. If you coming in here to provoke me, you work for Satan. Now, if you're just asking me a good question, that's a good question, ask it. If you're not trying to provoke me, then it don't matter, right? Ask the question. You don't have to keep saying you just want to ask me a question. Now, this is kind of proof that you want to provoke me. Just ask me the question. It might be a great question. What do I know? I haven't heard it. I just know your energy from yesterday. And you asked at least one provoking question yesterday. So much so that we had to bring up how the Bible says that we're not supposed to provoke one another. So ask the question. Now I remember you. Anyway, get back to what I was saying. So the show today, apparently, the name of this is Will Win. Is it Win or Will? Hold on. I think it's Win. Hold on. Where the title of the damn video? I don't need this no more. I'm gonna drop this. Anyway, we're talking about Cuba in any regards. Will Trump and the military go help Cuba? One, I personally pray that everyone that needs assistance, because they're living under a government that either goes against what Christ wants for us, gets help. I pray everyone on the planet, just so we could be clear. Like, this is a thing that we should want. This is not a thing that we should not want. I just want to be clear about this. I think Trump is going to be able to negotiate with Cuba. I don't see the question. There is no question. What are you talking about? It's up there. I don't see the question. Where's the question? You said the question is up there. Where is it? Where is it at? Let me ask you something. Calm down, brother. I've been following you. It's up there. So, seems like you're lying. It seems like you're lying. Just so we can be clear. Seems like you're lying. Maybe you're not lying. Maybe somebody else sees the question. I don't see it, though. If anybody else sees the question, could somebody else write whatever the question was in the chat? I don't see the question. I know you're going to say you wrote it, but I don't see it. So, that part. So, I want to be clear about something. They're not going to need to send troops to Cuba. Them Cubans is fighting. Okay, you see it? Look. This is how you know. They're here together. They're either here together or they're the same person. Look. Okay, where's it at? I don't see it. Where's it at? I don't see it. Let me ask you something. And then the very next thing he says is calm down. And then the very next thing he says is, brother, I've been following you. Then he says it's up there. And then look at the other guy saying, I see it. These niggas just lie. So I'm not responding back to any comments either one of them make any further, and we're just going to do the show. I'm not responding back to any one of their comments. Sooner or later, they're just going to disrespect me, and I'm just going to kick them. We're not responding back to no more of their comments. They obviously just liars and can't be trusted. With that being said, here's no refresh. No, but I have a phone in front of me. Let's see if I can see it on that way, right? Let me turn this volume down. There's no telling what I'm After I don't see this question, I'm never responding to either one of y'all comments ever again. Nope, not up there. There you go. Never responding to any one of y'all comments ever again. You can make the comments, and when you do disrespect me, I'm just gonna kick you. But you know, it is what it is. So I want to be clear about something, and I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. The Cuban people are going to win their own fight. The Cuban people are going to win their own fight. The Cuban people are forcing the Cuban government, whatever you want to call those guys right now, into a negotiation with Trump. Because besides the fact that these dudes don't have any more fuel, you understand they don't have any more fuel. They don't have any fuel coming in. They done ran out of fuel. They can't even run the country right now. They can't have the lights on. They had like 20-hour rolling blackouts, man. So Cuba is already with us. It's a wrap. Cuba's with us. We got Cuba. So that means that forget about Cubans voting Democrat. Because imagine somebody coming to save. Imagine, this is the best way to put it. Imagine your home being burned down. Your home's on fire. You got family in the home. You're screaming because you can't go in there to save them yourself. So you're screaming, help, 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 help. Some people pull up to go into the fire. Firemen pull up to go into the fire to save your family. Who, if these people don't pull up, it's more than likely everybody in there gonna perish. What do you think about the people that's gonna stand in front of the firemen? Like, no, don't go in there. This is fascism. Don't go save those people. So that's basically what's happening when Trump goes to Iran, when Trump goes to Cuba, when Trump goes to Venezuela, when Trump goes to whatever country Trump is going to. That's basically what happened. The building is on fire. There's people in America saying, please, President Trump, go over there and save our family. And the liberals are trying to prevent Trump from going over there to save their family. And by doing that, basically saying, no, those people, they want to burn to death. Why are you trying to stop? Why are you trying to prevent these people from burning to death? That's their right. Let them burn to death. That's the liberals literally doing. That, like, literally, that's what they're doing. Let them burn to death. That's what the liberals are doing. And that's why when I see people that I love on the side of that conversation, on that side of the conversation, and I know them, and I know that they're good people in their heart, I'm like, damn. You know how many other people out there that's good in their heart that's on the side of this bullshit? Oh, man. I'm like, oh, man. I don't think people understand the story of Cain and Abel. I mean, there's a lot going on there. It's not just jealousy. It's a lot going on there. Like, one of the things that was going on was complacency. With people not recognizing the envy that Cain had for Abel. There's a lot going on with that story. Outside of what we generally discuss. There was a complacency that was happening with everyone in that situation. Everyone around those two men. There was a complacency there. And I think that's something that people don't think about. So when he says, are you your brother's keeper? Oh, pardon me. When he said, am I my brother's keeper? Like, we are supposed to be our brother's keeper. We're supposed to look out for each other. If I have, I'm supposed to say, do you need? Do you understand? If I know that you're hurting in an area that I can help you with without hurting me or my family, and it's no sweat off my back, it's kind of an obligation if I love you. I got a thing that I do. And it goes both ways, just so we could be clear. So when I have extra of anything, and I know somebody that needs it, I offer. I don't know no other way to explain this. If I have extra of anything, and I know somebody that needs it, I offer. No, I love you. I have extra of this thing, I offer. So when the liberals go off on their tangent about how they don't want the Cuban people to free, because that's basically what they're saying, how they don't want the Venezuelan people to be free. They're so pissed off the Venezuelan people are being freed. And how they don't want the Iranian people to be freed. They are so angry about the Iranian people being freed. Why aren't they talking about the cartels in Ecuador? America's in Ecuador right now. Why aren't they talking about why is Trump in Ecuador? I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds, but I just need that to marinate in your brain. Trump is currently in Ecuador with our military, helping the Ecuadorian military or police or whoever fight the cartels. Why are they not talking about this? Why is CNN not really talking about this? Why are they not telling y'all about this? The short answer is that it's not of their interest. But the long answer is because they're not in bed with the Ecuadorians. They're not in bed with that cartel. Let that simmer. They lost their mind when he went to Venezuela. They lost their mind when he spoke about Colombia. They lost their minds when he went into Iran. He's been in Ecuador. Why aren't they losing their mind? I want to just move over to the side for a second. We're still talking about Iran. So, what's his name? Hunter? Carlton? What's that dude name? The dude that went into the White House and he's going to pop up on Instagram right anyway. Hunter, what's the dude name? Journalist currently being investigated by the CIA and for his conversations with Iran. Tucker Carlson. Wow, I kept saying Hunter. And that was close. I was saying Tucker Carlson. I need for y'all to pay attention to what happened with Tucker Carlson. Right? So, right before Trump went into Iran with our military, he had invited Tucker Carlson numerous times to the to the White House, and they had negotiations, they had talks, conversations. These talks and conversations, the U.S. government is saying, basically led Tucker Carlson to believe that America was not gonna attack Iran. That basically it was all bluster. Allegedly, Tucker Carlson then conveyed this information to Iran. And upon conveying this information to Iran, Iran got more bold because they felt that, Trump really didn't want to do anything anyway. So they could talk crazy. Now, I want to rewind one little tiny bit. Do y'all remember the same thing happened in Venezuela? Remember when Maduro was like, "Come and get me!" When he was saying all that crazy shit? And then like 2 days later, they went and got him. Y'all remember that? So, okay. So I'm going slow because I need for y'all to understand. The American media is literally working with our enemies abroad. And if the American media that push democratic, liberal policies and liberal agendas is working with our enemies abroad, what would make you think that our democratic elected officials aren't? Y'all always talk about how government ain't crap. No government is crap. Our government ain't crap. Our government is this. Our government is that. But when did it stop with the Republicans? If I remember correctly, almost everything the Republicans promise, they actually try to do. Whereas the Democrats promise you stuff that's either impossible or if it is possible, when they get in the office, they just don't do it. Trump said, and I want y'all to listen to how crazy the liberals are. Trump said he wants to try to get rid of income tax. The liberals said you can't get rid of income tax because then how are we going to pay for stuff? Remember that? They was going crazy. How you going to get rid of income tax? You can't do that. Trying to get rid of the IRS. Nah, you can't do that. You got to keep the IRS. Then as soon as Mondani says he's going to make everything free, the liberals say, yay! Fam. How can y'all take these people seriously? Like, there's so many human beings that I come across, and I know to them they think like they're big and I'm small, but I don't even take these people seriously. Why they busy thinking that they over me like this, I'm not even taking them seriously. Like, as a human being, as a person, I don't take them seriously. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what's going on with whatever's going on with you. How could I take somebody seriously that they got selective outrage like that? How could I take somebody seriously? You don't stand on nothing. You just stand against people. You don't stand on nothing. You just stand against people. How can I take you seriously? When Trump said he wants to get rid of, Trump was like, yo, we're going to use tariffs to get rid of the income tax. Freaking liberals went bananas. First, they said it was impossible. Then when they explained how it was possible, then they said they made up a different reason not to like it. While at the same time complaining about taxes. Explain this shit to me. Explain it. I mean, I'm listening. Explain it to me. How does this make sense? Now I'm going to tell you what I think the Democratic Party is actually about. I think God just has them set up so actual Christians know what not to do. I'm just being honest with you. Do what you want. I think God has the Democratic Party here so actual people who love Christ know what not to do. That's why I think Democrats are here. They're examples of what not to do. And before anybody say that that's crazy, y'all do understand that the reason why Republicans are called conservatives is because they want the country to go by the words of the Bible. You do understand this, right? The reason why Republicans are considered conservative is because they want the Bible to govern America. You understand? They want Christ's words to govern America. That's why they're conservative. I'm going to say that again because I don't think... I'm going to say that again. Just so we're clear. Republicans are called conservatives because they want our laws to reflect the word of God. Now, guess why liberals are called liberals? And this isn't me making the thing up. This is literally why they're called conservatives. The first abolitionists, they were Christians. Well, we don't really have abolitionists now, so I'm just going to say abolitionists. They were Christians. They were Christians. So every time you are chanting how much you are happy that you're a liberal, you're actually chanting how happy you are to be going against God. There's only one war going on the planet. There's only one conflict that has ever been on Earth. Only one conflict. And that conflict is the word of God and the people who do not want the word of God words to pass. And you know what the word of God is? Jesus. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. That's the beginning of John. That's John, right? Not James, John. Right? John 1, right? Hold on. Let's pull that up. Look, see? I have that up there just to show you. These people, they ain't about nothing. Hold on. I just want to make sure I make my point, because I have a lot of friends throughout the course of my life. I'm not perfect, but I have a lot of friends throughout the course of my life that the one thing that they'll never argue with you about is whether I love God or not. That's not up for debate. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. Hold on 1 second, just so we could be clear about something. What's Genesis? Just so we could be clear. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." God saw that the light was good. And he says, now in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through all of him all things was made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that was the life, and that life kind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The light is Jesus. Jesus is the light. Jesus is the light. All things was made through Jesus. Jesus is the light. I'm getting lagged. I got kicked. The whole thing stopped. Let's see if we can get reconnected. Look, I'm being attacked ferociously right now because we're talking about Jesus. My internet is being attacked ridiculously right now. I'm talking about Jesus. As soon as you start talking about God, and as soon as you start talking about Jesus, your internet just start messing up. It is what it is. I'm not going to stop. We're just going to have bad internet. That's what it is. Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. Somebody just tried to attempt to attract me. Let me see what it is. Yep, look. Yep, they've been attacking me. I got attacked 3 times in 1 minute. And 3 times in 1 minute. Three times in 1 minute. I'm looking at my thing over here. Yeah. Nah, we gonna talk about God, fam. It is what it is. So hold on. Let me bring this back up again, just to make sure everybody got what I was saying. Look, pay attention, man. These niggas part of my language. I use that word from now on. In the beginning, look. Let me move it so I can see when they start attacking. Hey, they're attacking me again right now. Boom. It is what it is. So look. I need y'all to understand this. Liberals do not like God. They're anti-God and they're against God. And whether they're doing it on purpose or not, and they're actively knowing that they're going against God, or whether they're doing it because they think that they're doing something else, it doesn't matter. The things that they're doing is going against God. I'm not saying Democrats, because they are conservative Democrats. I'm saying the difference between people is whether they're conservative or whether they're liberal, period. I'm not using Republican and I'm not using Democrat, because they are conservative Republicans and they are conservative Democrats. They are liberal Republicans and they are liberal Democrats. What I'm saying is that when you are conservative, you want things to run the way God wants things to run. And when you are liberal, you want things to run outside of the way God wants things to run. Because in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was all over the surface of the deep. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And therefore there was evening, and it was so when everything was created, just so we could be clear, it was created with light. It was created with the word. And what was the word? The word is Jesus. And what is Jesus? Jesus is light. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and he was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness shall not overcome it. So you can choose to love God, or you can choose to love the things God hates, but you cannot do both. Just so we could be clear. And that's another reason why I'm single, because I don't care if you know God now, but if you were to date me, you got to get a relationship with him, period. Like, that's not even a... So if you're a person that's like, I'm going to hate God till I die, don't waste your time with me. All right? It's just a waste of time. Because the minute I think you ain't with God, I'm just not going to be, I can't even deal with you like that. I'm not, the minute I think that I have to convince you to love God, then I can't date you. I can try to bring you to God, but I can't date you. Like, that's not a thing. Let's get back to what we're talking about, because we're talking about saving the people on the planet. The Democrats forget about about winning the Venezuelan vote. You might get some Venezuelans to vote for you, because there's a ton of Venezuelans that I guess are just, they still hate Trump. They don't care how many people he saved. Just the same thing with Cuba, and just the same thing like any other nation in the world. It don't matter what Trump does, they're just gonna hate him. Even if it comes out unequivocally that all of the negative things about him are lies, I still think, like, unequivocally, because I think that there's a couple of things that came out about Trump that obviously we all know that they're lies now, but the liberals still push those things. Like, how could he's never went to Epstein Island? They say he flew on the plane, but he flew on the plane before Epstein, years before Epstein even bought the island. So obviously he never flew on the plane and went to the island. You understand what I'm saying? So, and this is factual information that's easy to go get, and it's not a problem with. But what is the liberals going to say? The liberals are still going to say, Epstein Island, Trump. You understand? So then the liberals will see ICE agent driving and somebody jump on the hood of the ICE car, and then they get hurt, and the liberals will say, oh, they tried to run them over. Like, we all can't see. You understand what I'm saying? The liberals will see, what about the dude that pulled out the gun and started shooting at the ICE officers, and the liberals still came to that person's defense. Like, the ICE agents wasn't supposed to shoot back at him. You understand? These people are the most ridiculous people to have ever walked the face of the earth. I personally don't think that there has ever been a more ridiculous people. Like, ever. I don't think close. You understand? Think about it. Liberals are also the people that think men could be women, which is bananas. We got a Bible in front of us, right? No. The Bible primarily presents gender as a binary creation. What's the number one thing liberals say? Oh, gender's not binary. I told you, they go against everything God loves. Male and female, designed by God, with numerous... I'm saying it the wrong way. Hold on. The Bible primarily presents gender as a binary creation. Male and female. Designed by a God, with numerous verses emphasizing the distinction between the two. Traditional interpretations often cite texts like Deuteronomy 22:5, forbidding clothing exchange. So as far as men and women go, we aren't even to wear women's clothing. Nevertheless, try to get our bodies to look like women. Nevertheless, run around saying that we are women. And creation narratives, Genesis 1 and 2, to support the idea that individuals should not change or obscure their biological sex. So it says that in the Bible? Hold on. God said, let us make mankind in our image and in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish of the sea and birds of the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creations that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said, be fruitful and increase in numbers. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky, and the sea over all living creatures that move on the ground. Then God said, I will give every seed-bearing plant in the face of the whole world, of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts in the earth, and all the birds in the sky, and all the creatures that move around the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I will give every green plant for food. So God literally says that he's giving... Wait, is he saying the animals also as food? I don't know. That's not what we're here for. God said all he had made. So God specifically say that he made male and female. So, like I said before, the liberals just, for whatever their reason is, the liberals just go against everything God loves. Every single thing that God say, the liberals just go against it. Because that's literally what their nature is. Because to be conservative means to follow God closely, and to be liberal is to go against God's word. There's only one war going on ever since the beginning of creation, when war started, and that was the word of God and the things that want to prevent the word of God from happening. What's the word of God? Jesus. I mean, there's only one time anyone is referred to as they, them in the Bible. Hold on, watch this. It's when it's with the pigs and Jesus. What is the only... The only instance often cited as a person being referred to as a they, them is the demon-possessed man in Mark 5:2-9, where the demons identify themselves as legion and say, we are many. However, this uses we, them to refer to as the plurality of spirits inhabiting one person, not a single individual using singularity, they, them pronouns. So just so we could be clear, the only time that anything like this has even come close to being done, it was being in reference to a man possessed by a demon, and specifically, they were speaking about the demons that was inhabiting the man. So what's the main thing going on with the Democratic Party that they love to talk about? They, thems. Don't come into my chat talking about what God like and don't like if you don't got scripture to back it up. Because if you don't think that I could find scripture for any bull crap argument that you make to go against God, you are sadly mistaken. And I know where most of these things are at. I just want to make sure that I get all of the references, so I put the question. Just so we could be clear. Not all of these things, by the way, just some. And just so we could be clear. Creation design. God created mankind in his own image, male, female. He created them, which many refer to as foundational to gender identity. There's only two genders. Distinct roles. Scripture also highlights different roles for men and women, with some integrations as discussed in arguing that God designed a specific masculine and feminine traits, and challenges these is seen as going against the design. I'm going to say something. And this is my big beef with feminist movement. I have a ton of beefs with the feminist movement. But with people falling for it, this is one of my biggest beefs. One of them. I have a ton of them. If women understood, they've tricked y'all women into believing that femininity is weakness. When a masculine man is going to bend to femininity so often, it's those feminine niggas that y'all can't get to bend to femininity because they're feminine. But a masculine man is gonna bend to femininity more often than not, as long as it makes sense and it's not toxic. A masculine man is gonna bend to femininity. Women never have to scream around a masculine man. A woman never has to raise her voice around a masculine man. It's them feminine niggas that y'all raising, that the women are raising, and putting all of that feminine shit into them, thinking, oh, I'm gonna make the perfect man, he's gonna understand women. But you're making a woman in a man's body. So now this dude go out there in the world and he's just all feminine. He don't match the rest of us. Y'all literally are creating dudes that is the opposite of what you want. And then y'all sending him out there into the world to go terrorize women. Y'all keep thinking that all that stuff y'all call toxic masculinity, a lot of it is just regular masculinity that y'all just scared of now because y'all been dealing with them feminine niggas. Pardon my language, but y'all been dealing with them feminine dudes. Feminine dudes is gonna want to argue with you. A masculine dude is gonna say what it is, and then, you know what, I'm out. Masculine man is gonna walk away from the problem. This is not something that could be fixed. Why am I staying here for? Why am I staying in a situation that can't be fixed? Why am I staying? That don't make sense. This is an unfixable situation. Why am I staying here? That don't make sense. Anyway, let's get back to I'm going to talk about God all the time, fam. I can't help it. But let's get back to our actual conversation about Is he still talking? Let's see if I'm gonna play a little bit more of Trump, and then I'll be right back. The problem is, can we get live? Like, it's not. Oh, they got a commercial on right now.
Reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which are now being used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully used, because we have been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of, at a lot less cost, do the work of what the Patriots are doing or what other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice, they did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors came onto our side and started attacking them, and actually quite successfully. If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE, Qatar, and others, but they were strong and they were smart, but they got attacked. Nobody, when I first heard it, I said, no, somebody made a mistake. There was no mistake. UAE had over 1,000 missiles shot at it, knocked them almost all down. On the very first day I came down the escalator in 2015, I said, quote, I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and all I'm doing is keeping my promise. Think of that. That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then, and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that way. As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world, and I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will...
Technology. Why do you keep letting us down? You gave us drones that can deliver lunch, but getting inside your own office?
It's not working again.
Forget about it. You just want to shout, let people work, but you're probably going to have to open a f***ing ticket just to do that.
For them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world, if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary, if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and we know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast, but we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands. Since their last hit, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder. Thank you very much for being here. Go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Do you approve of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to...
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
With respect to Cuba, you said that Cuba wants to make a deal.
Yes.
What would the United States get in return for that, and why should Americans trust Marco Rubio to negotiate it?
Well, Marco Rubio is doing a great job. I think he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Look at what we've done as a presidency. Look at what we've done as an administration. They trust Marco, and so do the American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice and always helpful. But he's dealing, and it may be a friendly takeover. It may not be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter, because they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy. They have no money. They're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. And we don't want to see that, but they were very, very bad to a lot of people, as you know, and a lot of people living the Cuban American vote, which I got at record levels. Very important. Those people are very important to me. I know what they went through. They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban American business people, some of them are like the most successful in the country. And a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro regime was brutal, but they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing. They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
There's footage that shows that an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for
haven't
that strike?
seen it. And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic, it's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar, they have no telecommunications, and they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success, right?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 4. Complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want.
Fam, at this point, look, at this point, we got to do better. And what I mean by that is, in the Bible it says that there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, and basically for us to not get so involved in this, and basically meaning you don't know. I'm taking it as, we don't want to be on the wrong side of this conflict, so God probably just prefers that we just don't get involved. And we stay to ourselves and we don't get involved. We don't want to be on the wrong side of this conflict, man. You understand? So and I tried to express this before. When Trump said, "Make America Great Again," why do y'all think he only mean the United States of America? You do know that the whole entire Western Hemisphere is the Americas, right? He's in Ecuador. Why isn't the press currently talking about him being in Ecuador? Why is the press only concerned with him being in Venezuela and in Iran? That's all they're concerned about. They're not concerned about Ecuador. He's in Ecuador. Why are they not concerned about that? This is from the 11th, by the way. This is an old thing I found. So why isn't they concerned about that? Why aren't they concerned about him being in Ecuador? The reason they're not concerned about him being in Ecuador is because the liberals, they don't have any dealings. They don't have any friends that they've been doing dealings with in Ecuador. They have friends that they've been doing dealings with in Venezuela. Maduro, y'all do know what Maduro just said, right? Maduro came out basically. Okay, so I'm going to just re-up so when I say the thing I'm about to say, you caught up. So allegedly what Maduro and those Dominion machines was doing, they was stealing elections all over the world. Not just in America, they all over the world. That's how a lot of these individuals over there in the UK got elected and in Australia got elected. What do you think is going to happen when Maduro speaks and says, well, this person, that person, that person, and that person, I rigged all of those elections? What do you think is going to happen? And you don't think he's already speaking? Because I think Maduro was an excursion. They were removed, like Maduro already had a deal with America. I'm going to say this again because I don't think y'all get this. Maduro, in my opinion, already had a deal with America. They didn't go in there and steal the president. What they did was they went in there and they recovered an asset. Because why didn't they just kill him like they killed the Iranian guy? Okay? So Maduro is 100% helping the Trump regime, the Trump administration figure out what's going on with this Dominion thing. So this is what I expect to happen when all of this gets uncovered. There's going to be Republicans that work with these guys, and there's going to be Democrats that work with these guys. Just like MTJ, Marjorie Taylor Greene. MTG, I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that's the reason why, remember, right before this stuff happened with Maduro and them, or like a couple of months before that, what did Marjorie Taylor Greene do? She vacated her seat, didn't she? Hold on. Let's look this up real quick. What is she, in Congress or is she a House? I don't know. Let's see if she's in Congress. Look, Marjorie Taylor Greene officially vacated her seat in U.S. House of Representatives. That's what she's in, House of Representatives. January 5th, 2026. She announced her resignation November 2025 following a public feud with Donald Trump. So during 2025 is when she said she's going to resign. And then she actually did it. When did Maduro get captured? Fam, I'm not out here just talking. I'm not out here just talking. I can't express. This is. I'm gonna say this again, and I said this earlier. That's why when people be like trying to stand over me, they think they got, they actually physically do have more money than me, or they think they got more. Fam, I rock with God, fam. And because I rock with God, I see the world different than you do. Just so we could be clear. So a lot of y'all that think that y'all over here, y'all bigger than me, you got all these things over jacks. And I'm over here like this person. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. I have no hate. I have no dislike. And I don't want nothing bad for you. Just so we can be clear. But I'm going to have to pray for you. Because this stuff just makes common sense to me. Look, I'll show you. And just so we can be clear. All of this stuff just makes common sense. So when I'm talking to somebody and this is stuff that we having an argument over, I'm like, how? Look. Maduro was captured on January 3rd. Marjorie Taylor Greene vacated her seat January 5th. I mean, I don't Fam! Fam! You'd be surprised at how many jokes I tell that ain't really jokes. Like when I'm out in the world with people and it's not really jokes. I'm just saying something really, 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 really spot on and intelligent. And I don't want to insult anybody around. So I make it a joke. You'd be surprised. You'd just be surprised. But I genuinely only do this around people that I've tried to put on to something and then they resist it. But I do want to give you the information. So now I have to figure out a way, because I love you. So now I have to figure out a way to give you the information. Because I love you. And I want the best for you. Independent of what you want from me. Or the blustering and the, when I'm not around, probably talking crazy about me behind my back. It is what it is. But I do love you and I do want the best for you. And if I just give you the information, you are going to 100% reject it. So I have to breadcrumb you. And breadcrumb you and breadcrumb you and breadcrumb you and breadcrumb you and breadcrumb you. And that's the only way for me to be able to help. And sometimes it works. Because sometimes later on in the future, down the road, a person gets it. But the older they are, the less likely they are to get it. And that's the shit that hurt. So what do you think is happening? So they unalive the Iranian guy. Nobody's talking to you, serious. So they unalive the Iranian guy, but they captured Maduro. Maduro came over to talk. He's telling on everything and everyone. Okay, so this is the indicator. They went and got him in the middle of the night, right? Why was he that outfit y'all see him in? He was dressed in that when they came to pick him up. He was literally waiting for them. And comfortable outfit for them to transport him in. A Nike Tech. Have we ever seen Maduro in a Nike Tech ever before then? No. He knew the government was coming to get him. He was waiting and he was ready. So now I'm going to hit you in the head. I'm going to hit you in the head. Because how did they know for certain about Tucker Carlson? I'm going to back up a minute. Pay attention. The CIA is not allowed to operate on American soil. They can only operate on foreign soil. I'm going to say that again. The Central Intelligence Agency is not allowed to operate in the Americas. They're in the United States of America. They're only allowed to operate outside of the United States of America. So that means that if they have any type of intel on an American citizen, they were not investigating the American citizen. That's not their job. They was investigating some other random mofos. And then while doing that, the American citizen popped up on the wire. And that's how come they got Tucker Carlson. So imagine all the media that Maduro has already told on. Imagine. maybe, and this is just for argument's sake, maybe they looked at the communications between Tucker Carlson and Iran differently because of the information that they got from Maduro. How do you be knowing what's going on in it? Well, your press tells us. They go into your newsroom and they ask you questions and you answer. We tell them what questions to ask you so we can have information on what we want to do next. What I want is this. I want these treasonous bastards that are actually committing treason to be brung up on charges. I want public trials, and I want public executions. That's what I want. That's probably not what we're going to get. But I want public trials and I want public executions. If not for everybody, for some. Because the reason why I want the trials to be public is because if the trials aren't public, the liberals are going to pretend like somebody's doing something wrong. If the trials are public, the liberals are going to pretend like somebody's doing something wrong. No matter what happened, the liberals are going to pretend. So we don't care about what the liberals think. But all of the other people on the planet, they need to know that this is coming to an end. That's going to lift up people's spirit, and that's going to bring so many people closer to Jesus. So that's what I want. Because I want more people to come to Jesus. And I think that the way that that's possible, we got to have some public trials. We have to have some public information drop. We have to have the public trial, because you don't know who might jump out of the woodwork with more information. You don't know. Now, I want to bring up the Epstein files for something that people aren't understanding. Epstein was, what do you call that? Getting, information on individuals so they could bribe people, basically. So they could be like, you better do this and you better do that. They was extorting people. That's why he was having all of these people do all of these things. Now we in bed together. Now you got to do whatever. That's the same reason why they say that they make you do gay stuff in Hollywood. Oh, I'm being attacked dumb hard. They trying to cut me off the internet dumb bad right now. My whole entire freaking page just got clipped, and then because they kicking y'all. It is what it is. We're never gonna have a lot of people in here. I'm always gonna have people y'all getting kicked out of the room and everything else. It's always gonna happen because of the kind of context, because kind of stuff I talk about. All right, we talk about God over here, and we talk about how that reflects on the real world. So I'm always gonna have issues with people trying to cut our page and all types of different other stuff. That's just always gonna happen. There's just no getting around that. Because we talking real stuff over here. Now, if I was over here lying to y'all and saying stuff that wasn't true and whatever the case might be, we wouldn't have no issues. If I was pushing certain agendas, we'd have no issues. You understand? I don't push those agendas. Only agenda I push is God. And if you're upset at that, then I don't know what to tell you. That's between you and him. That shit got nothing to do with me. So I want to be clear about something while we on this political conversation, and as always, how everything ties into the Most High. But while we having this political conversation, I want to be clear about something. Just freaking clear as possible. You cannot be a liberal. I'm not saying Democrat, just so we can be clear. You could be a Democrat and love God, but you cannot be a liberal and love God. Because part of being a liberal is going against the word of God. That's literally part of being a liberal. So there's a lot of people that go to church. They consider themselves liberals. I'm fine with you being a Democrat. It is what it is. One of the main reasons why I just don't claim myself to be a Democrat no more is because I see that almost all of my values are conservative. It don't make sense to me. It might make sense to somebody else, just so we can be clear. But to me, it doesn't make sense for me personally. But, you know, that doesn't mean that it's wrong for another person to stay a part of the Democratic Party because they have conservative views. But my views are very conservative. My views are very conservative. I believe in my belief system goes back to like 1950s type of stuff. How you're supposed to treat your woman with respect and also receive respect from your woman. How you're supposed to, you know, put no woman before your wife. How you're supposed to put no people before your family. You understand? Like my values are extremely conservative. I'm not with none of this stuff that the liberals are talking about. So to me, it doesn't make sense for me to be a Democrat. But I could 100% see how other people could be a Democrat and also still be conservative. So when I say, talking about, you know, I don't believe that you could be liberal and love God. I'm not saying you can't be a Democrat and love God. You could 100% be a Democrat and love God. You could 100% be a Democrat and be practicing and preaching conservative values. That's a fact. The liberals are going to hate you. They're going to say that for everybody that don't know, the liberals are running conservative Democrats out of the Democratic Party. And they've been doing it for a couple of years now, ever since Trump first got into office. That's one of the reasons why the Democratic Party is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because the liberals are running the conservative Democrats out the party. They're running them out the party. Fam, I don't believe in abortion. I haven't always had that perspective, but I say the last 30 years of my life, I don't believe in abortion. Now, if somebody get raped, I understand. I get it. I wouldn't expect for you to have a child out of that. Incest. I get it. I understand. So I'm not even talking about those particular situations. I'm talking about specifically because you want to be a thot. Because you want to go out there and be a bot. So because that's the lifestyle you want to have, you figure you're going to go get an abortion and, you know, keep getting back to whatever you're doing. I'm against that. Since, I don't want to get the number wrong. Since like 1972, so many babies have been aborted in the black community that it's like 13% of our current population. That's crazy. How could that be a thing? Not for it. All right. So I have conservative views. This is what it is. Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. I have conservative views. I don't even think I like more than one female at a time. Like, I don't even like more than one female at a time. And I think that's bad, by the way. I don't even think that's good. I think I would I think I would like if I can be attracted to more than one female at a time. I think I would. I mean, I haven't had that mindset since I was like a teenager, probably early 20s. But like, I literally can't. I can't remember the last time that I was interested in more than one female at one time. That's why I refuse to even confuse myself by spending time with a woman I'm not interested in. Because why would I do that? I have a hard enough time talking to the one chick that I want to get with. Why would I do that? Literally, that's the way that I am. And I've been this way for so long that I don't even know how to turn it around. I don't even know how to go back to the other way. I don't just want a female because of her looks. Like, the current female I'm interested in, like, when I look at her, I feel like God is with us. Like, every time she's around, I feel a stronger presence of God. I can't explain this. And she's not even religious like that, as far as I could tell. But whenever I'm around her, like, I feel God's presence stronger than I genuinely normally feel it. And she's not even trying. In any regard, shout out to her. Hope she's having a beautiful day. Hope her day's as beautiful as she is. With that being said, how long we've been live? We've been live almost 2 hours. I would say, is there any questions? But the three people that came in here that actually talk look like all they want to do is try to create a beef. So I would say, is there any questions? And then answer questions for about 10 or 15 minutes before we go. But I guess I'll just monologue a little bit more and then we'll get out of here. But I do want to say this. You can't protest against countries that want to be freed. Like, the Liberal Party is protesting against the Iranian people. The Liberal Party is protesting against the Venezuelan people. They're protesting against them. You understand? They're going to say they're protesting for them because they're protesting against Trump. See, that's how mental illness works. Those people asked Trump to come save them, and now you're protesting to prevent Trump from coming and doing the thing that they've been begging for. That's mental illness. I don't see how that's not mental. If somebody could explain to me how that's not mental illness, I'm willing to listen. But I believe that to be mental illness. You have a people who are, their whole country basically is begging Trump to come intervene and save them. And you have the liberals of America upset that those people are going to be freed from a dictatorship. I need somebody to explain me. First, I need for you to explain to me how that's not evil. Before anything else, that's evil. I'm sorry. And just so we can be clear, you have people begging, pleading, praying for the American government to intervene and save their families or save themselves. And you have the liberals over here in America fighting their hardest that they can to making sure that those people don't get saved. I need somebody to explain to me how that's not evil. Maybe I'm wrong. Right? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I need an explanation, though. Because they've been begging to be saved for years, not just since Trump got into the presidency. Like, this stuff has been going on for like years, 10, 15, 20 years, like years. So I need somebody to explain to me how it's not evil for the liberals to be fighting to keep those people in oppression, to be fighting to keep the dictators in place that's killing hundreds and in some cases thousands and in some cases hundreds of thousands of people. I need an explanation. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe that's their culture. Like in the black culture, it's our culture to kill each other for no reason. Maybe that's their culture. In the black culture, it's, you know, we just murder each other for no reason over the littlest, tiniest thing. In the black culture, we hate everybody that loves God. Because basically, if you're a black person and you are conservative, they hate you, right? You're a coon if you're a conservative. Basically, you're a coon if you follow the Bible in the black community. Because that's literally what being a conservative is. Believing that we should be governed by the word of the Lord. That's what being a conservative is. But if you're conservative in the black community, they hate you and they call you a coon. So if you're in the black community and they're going to say that's not what it is, but that's literally what it is. That's not me making anything up. I'm not doing any kind of verbal gymnastics. The reason why conservatives are called conservatives is because they want the law. They want the law to follow what God has said. And in the black community, black people hate conservatives, and they consider conservative black people to be coons, Uncle Toms, and whatever negative word they could think of. So if you're a black person that believe in the word of God, black people hate you. So maybe that's their culture, to allow for dictators to be in place and kill people for no reason. Maybe that's their culture. Maybe that's why the liberals say they should keep their culture. Like the liberals think that the black people should keep our culture where we just kill each other for no reason. Remember, they don't want to stop any of the things that causes our communities to be terrible. Right? And you're going to say, no, they're always trying to help us. Look at all of those organizations. No, that's not what's going to fix our neighborhoods. You know what's going to fix our neighborhoods? Keeping actual criminals in prison. Like that alone. That one thing alone would clean our streets up to such a degree. Just that. Like, if they did nothing else except for keep actual criminals in jail instead of letting them out immediately and then sending them back to the hood, that alone would do wonders. That alone. How is How are people being found guilty for murder, first degree, and getting less than 25 years? I need an explanation. I need an explanation. I think you should get more, but I need an explanation. And I'm not talking about you kill somebody in self-defense. I'm not talking about somebody broke in your home and you killed them. I'm talking about a person that just plotted and planned on just killing a person. Or a person that just went out there and just decided for whatever random reason, I'm going to kill. How is that person getting less than 25 years? I personally think that if you sell a drug and that drug kills a person, I think you should get 25 years minimum. If you're out there selling drugs and you sell a drug and it's without shadow of a doubt that you sold the drug that person bought and you died and that person died, I think you should get 25 years. Period. I think if they find you with fentanyl, you should get 25 years. If they find you selling fentanyl, I think you should get 25 years. Period. All this after conviction, obviously. But, period. I think if they find you outside selling fentanyl in any type of way, shape, or form, you should 100%, if found guilty, get a minimum of 25 years, a maximum of life. Neither, yeah, but they doing that to black. Nope, I don't care what color you are, whatever color you are. And I think this would be a federal thing. I think being found with fentanyl should be a federal crime, period. You shouldn't have to cross against state lines or nothing. Any type of possession of fentanyl should be investigated by the FBI, period. Heroin, same thing, period. If you get caught and you're a heroin user, I think they should just put you into a home, an asylum. Make asylums great again. Clean you up. Then, if you get out, they catch you with heroin again. Now you get actual time. See, the first time they sent you to the asylum, it was just to get clean. Maybe you're there for 6-7 months. Maybe you're there a year. They let you out. You go back to your life. They catch you with heroin again. Now you get years. First thing we do is go right down to Philly. All of those places where you see those people slumped over. All of those people, scoop them up, throw them in the van, send them somewhere to get clean. Period. We ain't playing with it. Then we need to start investigating judges. The judges that just keep letting people get out free. The judges that keep all of the criminals out on the street. Man, investigate those guys. See where they're getting their money from. See what their political leanings are. See how many of the individuals that they didn't give any type of time to went back out into the community and terrorized it. If that particular judge has an inordinate amount of people that they've been being nice to and being kind to, and then those people went out into the world and then, unalived some people, or continued to commit whatever the horrible crime is that they was in trouble for the first time that the judge overlooked. No, okay, so now maybe this judge loses his judgmentship. Maybe he's not a judge anymore. Maybe any pensions or perks or anything that would have came that don't exist anymore for that person. Maybe that person gets brought up on actual criminal charges. Maybe that. But unless we start actually keeping the criminals in prison, we can't clean up our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods is done. And for all of the people that's like, but all of the white people that's out there campaigning, those liberals, they're not moving those people, any of these criminals, to their neighborhoods. These liberal white people that live in all of these nice posh neighborhoods that black people don't see black people except for when they leave to come protest. Or they go to the McDonald's or some random bullshit. They don't see black people. They have no reason to be fearful of the fact that they just let 6 freaking rapists out and they're roaming the streets. They have no reason to fear these things because these people are never going to go to their community. They could walk outside, walking their dog in the middle of the night and don't have to worry about being accosted. Just facts, man. Every time they let these people go, they let them go to your community. So I'm going to tell you a thing. So I used to work for... So I used to work for... Zack cited Justice League announcement? So I used to work for what do you call this thing? A security company, and the security company that I used to work for used to do security for the shelters in New York City. So I used to work in the shelter system in New York City, right? First I worked at Ward's Island, and then I worked at Bellevue, and then I worked at Franklin. Franklin's a women's shelter. But before, I worked in a couple of other family shelters and stuff like that before then. But it's long stories, funny stories also, but we're not going to get into it. But I worked in quite a few different type of shelters, right? And this is what I'm going to say without a shadow of a doubt. And this goes from the women's shelter is worse than the men's shelter. It's not so bad in a women's shelter. But these dudes, there's a lot of people that come home from prison and their mindset is worse than when they went in. Like, way worse. Like, we don't want these guys free. You understand? And then there's the people that get let free and they come out into the real world and then like, I got a second chance. I'm going to go do great things. Make my parents proud. Got those also. Got a lot of those also. Just so we can be clear. But there's a lot of those people that was in that shelter. And just so we can be clear, what happens is, let's say you're from, I don't know, you Arizona. You don't have no family in New York City. You committed a crime in New York City. Now you're out on parole. They're not going to let you go all the way back to Arizona all of the time. Sometimes, depending on whatever your crime is, you have to stay inside the New York City limits. They don't give you the ability to go out. Now, they're not going to let you out of prison unless you have an address. So what happens is these criminals, these individuals that are now ex-cons, they get their release date and they're about to get let free, but they don't have an address in New York City for them to be let out to be monitored. So they will let them go out into the shelter and live in the shelter because there's tons of monitoring going on. You know, the person got to sign for their bed at a certain time, this and this and that. So in the shelter system, especially Ward's Island, it was way more on Ward's Island than in Bellevue. Ward's Island was dangerous as hell. Bellevue was, I had people try to fight me in both, not for nothing. But Ward's Island is way more dangerous than Bellevue. Like, Bellevue's bad, but I heard there's another one down, that was down there in Alphabet City, somewhere down there. I don't know it, but it was one like down there that's also bad. But the one that was in Ward's Island was bad. All right, there was people that had machetes. We found machetes like this long, like this thick, under people's freaking beds and shit. We found knives, guns. They got everything in there. All right. But the point that I'm trying to make is, when these same people with these same effed up mindsets are residents of New York, they don't have to let them out into the shelter. They might let them out to their friend's house. They might let them out to their girlfriend's house. They might let them out to their parents' house, their family, their friend's house. And now they move right back into the neighborhood. And you think that they're going to go do right? Some of them are, but most of them aren't. And this is another thing, I want our jail system to start separating the violent criminals from the people who actually want to do better. You understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is they'll keep the person who actually wants to improve his life when he get out in the same areas with the people who they have no plans on doing any different. You understand? I want to separate those people. If you want to be super violent, do all the stabby stuff, let those people be over there. Let the people that it look like you could tell by the things that they're doing in the prison that when they come out, they're going to try to be productive. Why don't we have an area for them? And then in that area, let's put the mechanisms around them that's going to allow for them to be able to integrate back into society better. Like, why is this not a process? I think they, to a degree, like that's a thing that they want to do and are trying to do. Don't get this confused. But I think that we need to put more energy into it. And we need to be more outspoken on it as far as the government or the cities or whatever, the state. You need to put more energy in it to be more focused. This needs to be a point of reference, a point a point. You know what I'm saying? A thing that we're actually actively working towards, not something we're saying we're working towards. That alone will fix a lot of these kids in the street. When they see the dude coming home and actually trying to do better, rather than seeing the dude coming home, he like, yo, man, yo, yeah, instead of that guy. You see the dude come home, he's trying to do better. The dude come home, he's trying to get, just trying to do better, trying to be a good part of his community. And now with all that being said, and I talk about this a lot, but I talk about this a lot on purpose, just so we can be clear. But even if you haven't been to prison, when you go to a neighborhood or you move somewhere and you try to do good, our people try to stop you. When I first moved out here to Coney Island, you see what I'm doing? How we talking about God and all of this? I used to do my show outside, remember? Remember all the people that used to come and attack me verbally and try to stop me from being able to do my show because I was outside preaching the Lord's word? You remember what color those people were, right? Black. This is not me making anything up. This is a thing that actually was happening. Remember that one dude with the dreads that he just hated God to death? And he just always used to come up to me every day that he used to see me and just say the most heathenistic misinterpretations of the Bible he could think of? Remember that guy? Y'all remember the dude that showed up with the 2x4 with the nail in it and tried to attack me and I had to fight the dude off, basically? Remember that guy? Remember they used to send like the homeless chicks over to me or something? Like, I'm not desperate, fam. I'm just single. There's a difference. I have a very, 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 very high standard. Like, I have a very high standard. I'm going to die alone, most likely. I have a very high standard. My standard is not little. My standard is not low. I have an extremely high standard. When they were sending the drug women over to me or something, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, remember that? I'm saying all that to say this. There are so many people in your neighborhood, wherever you live at, that want to help your neighborhood. Some of them look like me. And when you look like me, it's harder because your own people is going to try to prevent you from getting the Lord's word out there. And that's what was happening. If I go outside right now and I try to preach the Lord's word, what you think is going to happen? Satan is immediately going to send people to try to stop me. Immediately. Now, with that being said, there are quite a few people around here that be like, yo, when you coming back outside to do the thing, they want me to do the thing outside. They are quite a few. Just so we can be clear. But when those individuals come up to harass me, where you then? Where's the support? When I'm being attacked by some random drug addict in the street, where's the support? When I'm trying to do my show and I got that dude that he hates God. He hates God so much. And then he be seeing me in the street thinking I'm going to say hi to him. My nigga, we will never be friends. in any accord. Go find Jesus. I hope you do. But in any accord, me and you will never be friends. Never. I hope you find Jesus, though. But I'm never going to believe it because of how much I've seen you hate God. So I'm never going to believe it. But I hope that that's a thing that happens for the dude. But I've seen the guy hate God so much. I'm never going to tempt it. I'm never going to risk it. I'm just never. All of my friends work in the church currently in one capacity or another, or around the church, or work with people who work in the church. All of my friends currently that I physically see and interact with, all of them, not one, not two, all of them, they either work for the church or they work with people who work for the church. Every last friend that I physically come into contact with now, I have friends that don't necessarily work for the church that I talk to on the phone here and there, and FaceTime, we chat, we keep it up, and as always, I'm always talking about God. But all my physical friends that I interact with on any type of normal work for the church, fam. In what capacity or another. Jesus sat with the sinners. He didn't sin with them. You know why that's so important? Because you want to know the first thing that Satan wants you to do in order to accept you? Do something to make you like him. You have to show that you're just like them in order to rock with Satan. They're not going to trust you if you aren't committing whatever the crimes is that they're committing. I'm going to tell you some funny shit. I had a dude say to me, right? First, let me explain the whole thing. So I was going through a hard time. And I had a friend that worked at the local chicken spot. The local, he doesn't work there right now. He used to work at the local Popeyes. So he knew I was going through a hard time. Right? He used to see me preaching outside. He's Muslim, by the way. So it's a friend of mine. He's from, I don't want to say where he's from, but he's Muslim. So I had a friend, and the friend that I had was not necessarily going through a great time either. And they was, at least that's the impression that I got. So my friend that worked at Popeyes, at the end of the night, on days that he worked, he'd give me some food. And when I say give me some food, I mean, he give me some food. Right? Shout out to the Most High, glory be to God, Jesus is King. You want to know what the other guy who was a black dude, the other dude ain't black. The guy that was giving me the food ain't black. You want to know what the black guy that was supposed to be my friend did? He found out that the dude was sending me food, so he started having kids come into the restaurant and harass the guy. Black people do this to me. They started going and tearing the Popeyes up, throwing chairs around, breaking stuff. Black people do this to me. Until he stopped. So if he was whenever the dude did anything kind for me, anything nice for me, and he looked out for me in any way, because I was going through a hard time. I'm not going through a hard time now because God showed up. Because when I was going through that hard time, I didn't move away from God. I moved closer. See, Satan don't understand that. When you go through a hard time, you go closer to God. Satan think you're going to go through a whole time, you're going to curse God. We're not cursing God over here, fam. Shout out to the Most High, glory be to God, Jesus is King. We're doing none of that cursing of God. That ain't happening. So when I go to the Popeyes, they send people with drug problems in there. They send whoever they can in there to like muddy up the water so the dude can't give me anything. They tell the dude's boss on him. They do all types of stuff. They got the guy fired eventually. Black people. Just so we could be clear. Black people. But you want to know what God did? God said, I see you. I see you out there having to deal with these evil people. You never turned your back. You never turned away from me. So currently right now I work at a hatchery. I used to work at a hatchery. I work at a pantry. I donate my time to a pantry. Food is of no issue. Because I stayed under the umbrella of God. I stayed under God's protection, even when everything was going wrong. Even when I had people trying to destroy me. Even when my own people wanted me dead. Even when my own people wanted me starving. Even when my own people wanted me homeless. I stayed with God under his protection. So what did God do? He pulled back up and circled the block. So there is nothing that a person could do to make me not love the Lord. Because that's only one of the great things he's done for me. And he's done thousands. So we need to clean up our own neighborhoods. We need to stop hating people who want to clean up our neighborhood. I can't go outside right now without black people trying to... When I tell you that this happens, black people see me walking down the block, and once they see me, they go spark up their cigarette so they could blow smoke at me. So now, even if I don't see black people with cigarettes, I just avoid them. I don't need to see you with a cigarette. I don't want to be around you. I'm just going to avoid you because I don't want no problems. I don't hate you. I just don't want no problems. So when I see black people now, I just avoid them. I love y'all. And I want the best for everyone, black or whatever race. I don't care. I want the best for everyone. But I don't want to have to deal with that. And the easiest way for me not to deal with that is to just stay away from black people. It is what it is. We have to clean up our own neighborhoods. And we got to get those type of people out. Because how are we going to have good people do good things if every time a good person or a person that wants to do good does a good thing, they got to get attacked by Satan helpers? So every time I go outside, Satan helpers attack me. Every time I go outside, Satan helpers light up cigarettes and try to blow it in my direction. Every time I go outside, Satan helpers will come by me on the phone and just try to say stuff to try to get a reaction out of me. And as far as I can tell, black people are Satan helpers. I know more Satan helpers that are black than any other race that I've ever met in my life. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's tons of Satan helpers that are other races, but I don't really know those guys. I know the black Satan helpers. So when you see me and I'm just avoiding black people, it's not because I hate y'all. It's because I know y'all hate me. I actually love y'all. But I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to talk. I'm not gonna do anything at all to try to convince you to like me. Nothing. Not one thing. There's only one person besides Jesus that I want to like me, and that's the woman I marry. And any kids that we have, I want them to like me and respect me. Other than that, I don't care. I'm going to tell you how serious it is. I might never make another friend that's black unless they're introduced to me by another person that I already know and like that's black. That's how serious it is. I might never make another friend that's black. Because the only way that I can be a friend with a black person is if somebody introduces them to me that's already my friend. Other than that, I literally just avoid conversations with black people because I don't want to argue. And I don't need to hear about how much you hate me. I don't need to know. I don't need to hear. just, you can hate me, but I don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Like, I don't need to be there, though. I'm going to go outside at some point. And when I go outside, there's a ton of black people that's just waiting to see how they could just try to do evil shit to me. Right where I live. Are there some good black people out here? There are so many. Yeah, a lot of good black people out here. Be honest with you. I mean, I know a couple, and I'm assuming other people are. But I don't want to risk it. I'd rather not take the chance. I'd just rather not take the chance. I'm 100% not going to take the risk. I promise you. I'm not going to take the risk. I never try to do anything that I don't believe I can be successful at. And there's shit that I think I can be successful at that I drag my feet on. And I don't think there's anything that I can ever do to win black people over. Ever. That's how much hate I'm generally showed for no reason. I love y'all. I hope everybody finds Jesus. Whatever race, color, creed you are. I hope everybody finds Jesus. I hope everybody finds the Lord. Just so we can be clear. I mean, I know that's not a possibility, but I hope that does happen. But a lot of y'all is going to have to do it with me nowhere around you. I don't want to smell cigarette smoke. I'm going to tell you how serious it is. If I see you smoking cigarettes, I promise you I'm going to purposely make sure that I never befriend you. So therefore, I never have to be standing there talking to you while you light a cigarette up and smoking in front of my face. And I got to stand there and smell a fucking cigarette now because you're my friend. But if I never allow you to be my friend, I never have to smell that cigarette. That's my logic. I hope you're out there doing great things. Great person. Got it. Boom. And now I don't have to smell cigarettes though. So I literally don't make friends with people who smoke cigarettes for that explicit purpose. But the friends and family that I already have that smoke cigarettes, they would never smoke around me. They just wouldn't. I used to smoke cigarettes about years and years and years ago. I didn't smoke cigarettes around people that didn't smoke cigarettes. Period. Period. I just did not ever smoke. Even if it didn't bother you, I genuinely wouldn't smoke cigarettes around you because you don't smoke cigarettes. Even if it didn't bother you. I'm smoking a cigarette. My friend walks up that don't smoke cigarettes. I'm going to put it out. So no, I don't make friends with people that smoke cigarettes because I don't want to have to smell it. So there's a lot of people out here in Coney Island that sometimes they try to talk to me, but they don't know. We can never be friends because you lit up a cigarette in my presence before for no reason. I didn't walk up on you and you was already smoking, minding your business. You looked, saw me, and then lit a cigarette. I am never going to be a friend. There's nothing that can happen. You can find Jesus and quit cigarettes. I'm still never going to be your friend. I don't think you understand how personal I took that. I don't think you understand how personal I took it. I think you think I didn't take it as personal as I did. I'm going to remember your face until the day I die. And I'm going to make it a point. And I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't want an apology. So please don't nobody apologize because I don't care. You looked at me and decided to smoke a cigarette because you saw me walking towards you. I don't care. Just so we clear, this isn't beef. I don't want to be, oh, he's beefing. I'm not beefing. I'm just never going to be friends with you. I'm never going to be cool with you. And I'm never going to stand next to you for more than 2 seconds. I'm just not. I wish you the best, though, and I hope you find Jesus. If you haven't already. Maybe you found Jesus already. What the hell do I know? But if you haven't, I hope you do. Anyway, we talked about Jesus. We talked about the community. We talked about Trump. I think I'm done. I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go make something. So I put soy sauce on my hamburgers when I'm making hamburgers in the crib. I think I'm going to make some hamburgers. I got some blue cheese. I'm going to put blue cheese and I'm going to put regular cheese. Oh, I'll make hamburgers and some fries. That's what we're going to make. Right? Should I make some fries with the hamburgers? I haven't been eating well. So apparently, homegirl pulled up on me 3 days out the week a couple of weeks ago. Didn't say nothing. Just walked past me. I haven't even been able to eat since. So, thank you. Haven't been able to sleep well since either. So, thank you. Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. You have such a sense of humor. When God wants you to do something, he sure just makes you. He just, when he wants you to do something, he just swears it. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta figure out something to eat. I'm hungry over here. And I've been watching this TV show From, and I think I want to. So real quick, so I'm gonna. If I ever, and I've been telling you this, if I ever actually do start dating somebody, one of the things that I want to do is create content with them. And one of the main content creations I think I want to do is movie reviews. So if y'all ever see me start getting into movie reviews and stuff like that, seriously, it's because I'm dating. And I want to start getting into movie reviews and television reviews and stuff like that. And I want to do more stuff. And if I do start dating somebody, we're probably going to make a separate page for all that. And as y'all can see, I know how to make the page blow up. I want to say something before we get off. Something else, just talking about page. For all the people that when those individuals was ganging up on me on the internet and attacking me on the internet, for all those people that think that those guys was right and I was wrong, because I heard one of the weirdos say I messed the money up. I need for y'all to understand something. One, I want to worship the Most High more than I want money. Period. That's not even a question. So I messed the money thing up. One, I did. It's just that your vision wasn't good enough to see what was down the road that I was trying to create. And that's why I'm not going to take on any partners at all on social media again unless it's like a girlfriend or a wife. Specifically a girlfriend I'm trying to turn into my wife. Well, I'm not going to date anybody I'm not trying to make a wife. So just the simple act of me trying to date you, I want you to be my wife. Period. I'm not going to even attempt to like put any energy into well, there's this chick I really, really like, and I haven't put any energy into that. So, but that's not the point I'm making. I'm talking about after we're already talking to one another, and then I'm not gonna put. If I'm not trying to make you my wife, it's gonna be obvious. I'm not gonna. First of all, I'm not gonna sleep with. I'm at a place in my life where I'm not even gonna sleep with a woman that I don't want to make my wife. I'm not gonna sleep with you. I've had enough sex in my life. I've had probably more sex in my life than some of these dudes out here that is. You know, y'all get women, and then your women will hold out sex for you for like 5 or 6 weeks sometime. Y'all having a whole woman sleeping next to you that y'all can't. That don't happen to me. You understand? If your woman, and this is another thing, if your woman, and this is just all men, pay attention. If your woman isn't initiating it with you more than you initiating it with her, you should see that as an issue. I'm going to say this again. If your woman isn't, unless you're just one of them dudes always trying to do something, but generally, there still is an issue because you shouldn't be. Anyway, if your woman isn't initiating, let's say as much as, if your woman isn't initiating sex with you more or as much as you are with her, that she don't want to sleep with you, man. She's just doing it because she is expected. You get it? It's expected. That's why she's doing it. She don't really want to sleep with you. She's just doing it because it's expected, man. She's not really having fun. She's not enjoying herself. You understand? And as point of a man, you should that should hurt your feelings. You shouldn't be mad at her. You understand? But you should understand that there's something you are lacking. Now, I'm not talking about girth, length, none of that. I'm just talking about emotional connection. So anybody that is having that issue, spend more time trying to have emotional connection with your woman. Hey, I'm not saying spend more time doing stuff she want to do. I'm not saying let her be in charge of anything. I'm saying spend more time trying to make an emotional connection. That's important. It's very, 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 very important that your woman feels safe, that your woman feels loved, and that your woman feels like she can express herself as long as she's doing it in a healthy way. These things are important. These things help communication. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody go out there in the world, do something worth doing. Stamp God's name on it. And remember, Satan is never going to stop attacking people that's preaching the Lord's word if you're doing it effectively. If you are effectively out there being a symbol for God, Satan is never going to stop attacking you. These people that's doing that cigarette stuff, they're never going to stop. They're just always going to be sitting around gossiping about me, sitting around hating on me, or sitting around trying to figure out ways to do stuff to me. Because I'm trying my hardest, whether I do or whether I don't, I'm trying my hardest to embody as much of what Christ wants us to embody as possible. Those people, they don't even know why they hate me. You understand? They don't even know why. They don't have the slightest idea. They have no idea why they hate me. They just know that they do. And in their mind, they're going to come up with a different reason every day. You understand? They're going to make up a lie. That lie's going to be proven wrong. They're going to make up another lie. That lie's going to be proven wrong. They're going to make up another lie. That lie's going to be proven wrong. That's just going to be a continuous cycle. Remember those people that was making up all of those lies about me on the internet? Why 8 channels are all defunct? I'm going to tell you a prayer I made to God. A deal I made with God. A prayer, a deal, however you want to deal with it. One of the main reasons I pulled back from the internet was so that their channels would fail. Because God got me. So I pulled back from the internet. And what happened? Their channels failed. That's what happened. Had at least one person that had like quadruple the subs that I have, his channel's done. More subs than me and everything. Because I was the template. And as long as I stayed off the internet, and as long as I wasn't doing anything too great or too new, they had nothing to copy. I'm not going to show y'all, but I want to see something real quick. Turn this down. These dudes was making all of these videos about me, talking all of this craziness about me. This one right here lost subs. This one right here had over 16,000 subs. Now they got less than 16,000 subs. They lost subs. Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. Do they even make videos anymore? I don't even think they make videos anymore. Let me see. Do they make videos anymore? I'm just looking to look. No, not really. God is so good. God is so good. Look at this. This guy is still talking about me. He's still talking about me. I haven't mentioned this guy's name on his channel. Still talking about me. I told you. I pulled back off the internet. They had nothing to copy off of. They had nobody to talk crazy about. They need me to do well in what they do so they could talk about me, so they could try to get stuff going. That's why we don't talk gang stuff no more. We don't talk gang stuff no more. You're not interested. People be sending me messages, be like, yo, talk some gang stuff. I refuse. So yeah, talk about me all you want. Dang, he's making multiple posts about me. So let me be clear about something. I work for the Lord. I'm doing so much better than I speak about, because it's not about throwing anything in anybody's face. But the level of I'm actually doing is incredible. Just so we could be clear, I live in a gated community on the beach. In New York City. I work at I volunteer at the local food pantry. So I don't even need to pay for food. I'm doing great. Now, do I have the things that you want? Most likely not. But I have the things I want. I'm doing great. All right, we're gonna have an Easter egg hunt in Seagate. Shout out to this. Shout out to Abby Burner. She's fine. Okay. I'm trying to show the Easter egg hunt. We have an Easter egg hunt going on in Seagate. This is where I live. I live in a gated community, fam. I live in a gated community, fam. I live in Seagate. We're going to have a Easter egg hunt go on. That's going to be dope. Maybe this year we start doing a lot of, because I want to do some Seagate content. Maybe we start doing a lot of Seagate content this year. Because I love my community. I love the people that live in Seagate. There's so many amazing people of all different type of backgrounds, all different types of nationalities, all different types of religious faiths. There's just incredible people here. I love it living in Seagate. These are just incredible people, just in general. Just incredible people. See, I live in a whole gated community, man. I don't understand how any of them, like, you understand, these people crazy. He don't got what I want, so he's not doing well. But I have what I want. Peace. I have what I want. I have that also. But I have what I want. I don't need what you want. That's crazy. These motherfuckers still talking about me. Hold on, I'm looking at somebody else's page for a second. People still talking about me. This is crazy. These people are crazy, yo. People are crazy, yo. Still talking about me. This shit is crazy. Nah, I'm not gonna say your name, fam. I'm not sending nobody to your page. I don't really care for you. Whatever you doing, do. I don't really care. None of that matters. But I just want to be clear about something. Right? We got 108,000 over here. Remember when people started lying and saying I was buying subs? I never bought subs. But remember all of those people that was saying I was buying subs? I wouldn't have that if I was buying subs. You know what they would have did to my channel? They would. I don't know what they would have did, but I wouldn't have that if I was buying subs. Never bought subs, man. I was offered though. In all fairness, in all transparency, there are some people that's, I'm not gonna say who they are, but there are some people that I know that are part of the industry that they were gonna gift me thousands of subs and gift me thousands of views. Gift. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. Remember, people are saying that I'm a failure and I'm in the community. And what was I doing for the last couple of years? Coaching youth sports and helping the community. And this person, these people consider that to be a failure. What am I doing currently? I spend all of my time at the church. These people consider this a failure. They consider I'm failing because I'm spending my time trying to help the community. They consider I'm failing because I'm spending my time at church. They consider these things a failure. Well, I'm looking at your page and it doesn't look like you gained 1,000 subs since the last time I spoke to you. And that was what, 5-6 years ago? The last time me and you spoke? And you haven't even gained 1,000 subs over 6 years? Fam. Fam. I gained 1,000 subs by accident. And just so we could be clear, at one point, I was putting out videos on multiple pages. So I literally have other pages that I could just build up at any point at all, get monetized, and then monetize. But instead of doing that, I'm in the community helping the youth, and I'm in the community helping the local church. And this gang nigga think that that's a bad thing. You understand? With that being said, I'm out. I'm laughing at this shit. I think this shit is all funny. Nigga, I ain't a person I ain't talked to in years and years and years and years is still making videos about me. Still making posts and videos about me, talking about me. Well, I ain't gonna say nothing about it. Make all the videos you want. Talk all the craziness you want. I don't even care. I don't even care who believe it, to be honest with you. Because God got me. God got me. Not sure what I'm gonna eat though. I think I'm just gonna make a hamburger with some fries, maybe. So you take the soy sauce. Soy sauce on a hamburger is gonna make it so flavorful. Shout out to the soy sauce that I actually own. It's gonna make it so. I need dark soy sauce. Wait, do I got regular soy? I got regular soy. I need dark soy sauce. Look, they messing with my channel right now. They must have contacted somebody like, yo man, mess with his live. Yeah, I got dark soy sauce, right? I got regular soy sauce. I need dark soy sauce though, and a couple of other things so I can make my own. So I can make my Chinese food at home. I gotta eat a wok too. I need a wok. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. I don't know. Expect some more lives. Expect me to be a little bit more doing the lives. I don't really like feel doing this type of stuff no more. Not for nothing. I just don't like feel like doing it. I'm just being honest with you. This is not where my heart is anymore. You know. I think when I thought I was doing good in the world, my heart was here, but I just don't think I'm doing good in the world. I don't think this is helping the world anymore. I just don't think. I think one, our people just. I just don't feel like I'm doing good in the world. You know, that's why, you know, I do some of the other things I do. What's it? You know. It's just a satisfaction. I get a satisfaction from doing good in the world. You know, it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel well. I don't know how to explain it. But I don't feel like I just don't feel like I'm getting I'm gonna kick this person. I be kicking people so bad on Instagram. There's people who got kicked on Instagram, they don't even know who I am. I just seen them write something stupid like on somebody else's post, and I immediately or they comment under my post any type of stupidness. Like if I write anything at all and they comment under me any type of stupidness at all, I just block them. Like I just block them. Period. Like I just and when you block people on Instagram, you get the opportunity. Like they block all of their accounts. It's supposed to be like that, so they can never contact or see me ever. So I block people like that. Like that. Don't even care. Everybody go on in the world, do something great. I need to bring you something to eat. I'm hungry. Go on in the world, do something great. God loves you. Let's try our best to show God that we love him back. Let's try our best. Like, comment. Oh, I don't do that one no more. I have to come up with a new one. I don't want to do that one no more because I am I think it's kind of, so I'm like this. If I like, this is probably why I only like one female at a time. Because if I like a female, I feel like I'm cheating when I'm talking to another girl. Like, because I'm interested in her. So if I'm dealing with you in any capacity, it kind of feel like cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, does she know you? Is she cool with you? Like, I know it don't make no sense, but like that's the way that I feel. You know, that's the way I feel. Like I'm an extremely loyal person, but at the same note, when you do something to me, I'm gonna take it as personal as anybody could take anything. Like, the level of personal I'm gonna take it, it don't even make sense. Because I legitimately wouldn't have did that to you. Like, comment. Oh, I can't use that one no more. Anyway, I'm gonna think up a new one, but it probably has to be if I actually. Anyway, I'm out. Go out there in the world, do something worth doing, stamp God's name on it. Bang! Let's go.